Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I'm a master manifestor, and I'm sure you are too, because you're watching content like this. The name of this channel is Holistic Manifesting, because I believe in a whole body, whole person experience in order to create the lives that we choose, right? Nonetheless, let's get into it. This video today is about one of my favorite things, right? Because I'm such a person of authenticity in most environments, because I think there are certain attitudes and ideas that we put on in certain environments in order just to make the process go smoother, or to be more, friendly or more stern, whatever it is we got to put on, right? But it's not that those things aren't in us. It's just that we are choosing, or we're selecting when we're pulling those things out, right? So I was sitting here writing and reading, being a nerd, and I was thinking about one of my favorite things is what you see is what you get people, right? Now, a lot of people, sometimes they don't really get into kind of the folks like that, right? I've always been a person who's historically had foot and mouth syndrome, right? Like, I could go places and talk to people, but I got real way too fast. I was like, well, they do that because of this. Well, that's like that because of this, and everybody would go, oh, okay. And sometimes in this day and age, I try it to be, who I am in many environments, but I can see sometimes when it gets pushed back a little bit, like, we're all pretending not to see that. Why do you have to point it out? I've been that person. And so what you see is what you get kind of people. You don't have to guess, right? Like, you don't have to wonder if somebody at work is, a bad influence, or they're, opportunist or something like that. Because there's nothing worse than people who present themselves to be a certain way, and your intuition is not always ticking the boxes, because we all know that people can be presented to be a certain way, but their actions, like their words, can be one way and their actions can be another. So we can easily get caught up in sometimes like, something is off about this. Something is off about this person. Something is off about this job. Something is off about this vacation, whatever it is. Something is off. But because all of the performance around it is looking like, well, I guess it's right. So we sometimes take that as face value, right? And it's not to say go around and being suspicious of everyone you meet is like, are you who you say you are? I don't think that's as important as getting your frequency and your vibration in the right place, so that way you have less of those interactions, right? And so what you see is what you get kind of people. And like in computer world, they call that WYSIWYG, right? What you see is what you get, is referring to like building websites from the back end, from the front end as opposed to the back end, I guess, or building anything, programming and all that. So being in this, with this mindset in this way, you tend to believe that other people are doing the same thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you're around someone and, they say, oh, so if you're at work or whatever, and you have a coworker and you hang with her, y'all go to lunch all the time and stuff like that too. I know I've never been one of those people, but people do this. And that's your friend at work and stuff. And so like, you're friends with her, y'all have been cool. It's been, a few months and all. And then all of a sudden something happens and you find out that she hasn't even, liked you for the past month. And you're just like, but she acted exactly the same. That takes a special type of character to pull that off. You should be very, very leery of people, leery, whatever, of people who can pull that off, right? Because I'm not good at it. If I'm not feeling people or a place or a thing, I'm not getting involved. There's nobody who can say, in most of the things that I'm involved in right now that I kind of don't care for too much, it's kind of like meh. They're going to say she's kind of meh, because I don't know how to walk in and pretend like I'm something else and to be, whatever. I'm big on what you see is what you get. Another beauty of people like this is that, like I said before, you don't have to guess. And then also too, if they have any type of negative or opportunist or transactional type of attitudes or anything, you get to see it in the beginning, and then you get to make a choice, right? But the funny part about people who are not what you see is what you get, they don't want you to make a choice. They get their joy from manipulating you to believe that they're one thing when knowing that they're nothing on the other end, right? They're nothing like that on the other end. And so you just want to be mindful of people like that, because me being who I am, I'm so authentic when it comes to what I'm like, what I don't like, where I'm going, what I don't want to go, what I want to do. And if I don't know yet, I'm going to tell you I don't know yet. I'm going to say I don't know yet. And when I know, I'll know, right? You know, I don't force things. I'm not that kind of a person. What you assume is that everybody else, because you can hold a certain conversation, or because they're on a certain level, or because they speak a certain way, that they're as evolved too in those spiritual ways. But that's just not the case. So you got to be careful with people who like to perform, or people who like to put on a show. And so I mentioned this before. Somebody might think I have a problem with extroverts. I do not. I think extroverts are beautiful. I think they're amazing. But the only part about extroverts that kind of throws me off a little bit is the performative part. Like they really love the whole, hey, high five, pointing across the room at people, you know, the whole, and you just like, He's just like, and so it's not a blanket statement over anybody who's considering themselves extrovert, but just the idea that having camaraderie and having hanging out with people and having people around is way more important often to them than who the actual people are that are around. And that kind of throws me off, right? Because when you're in that mode, it kind of makes you perform because your main goal is to extract what you want out of the group of people as opposed to being your authentic self. Because you feel sometimes, maybe, I don't know what they feel. I'm just assuming. This is my perspective from afar, right? I've not experienced this behavior as a person. I've never gone anywhere wanting to represent myself as something that I was not. If anything, it was, okay, I guess that's a version of it. If anything, it was like, no, I've never represented myself. You know what I mean? Because I was thinking about in academia, but there was never a representation of what I wasn't. It was imposter syndrome, which is a little bit different. So I had to walk in with a certain confidence that I didn't truly have yet, right? And so, but who I was at the core of my character, that doesn't change, right? There's certain levels that I won't stoop down to. There's certain things that I won't do. There's certain attitudes that I don't think are respectable or positive. You know, there's certain things that I'm just like, nah, I don't want that life that goes with that, right? And so you have to just be mindful that a lot of people are not that way. And if you forget, then sometimes you get caught up in these situations to where you're just like, this girl been saying that we've been friends for the past year, and like the last 3 months, she been talking about, I mean, people get used to this, right? But I'm just like, what is up with that? Like, what do you get out of that? What do you get out of misrepresenting yourself in any kind of way, right? I think sometimes, and this might be a little bit of a deeper conversation, I think sometimes that they really want to be this thing that they are representing, right? That they truly want to be as great as they want to come off. They truly want to be as valuable and as respected. They really want these things. But the biggest issue with it is that, guess what? They've not done the internal work. And until you do the internal work, it's all in vain. It's all like just a show. And what I learned and what I do know and what I do know to be true, as an individual, only we know how crappy we really are. Other people don't know. They might have an idea. They might accuse us of some things. But if we're full of shit and we're putting on a show and we're performing or we're doing any of those things, only we know. And the fact that only we know, it means that we have an internal battle going on the inside. And the minute we're in environments that try to, I don't know, rip off that mask a little bit or pull back the layers a little bit or, you know, reveal the humanity or, you know, make the ego go take a sleep, you know, we get really, it's like two choices. We can go into it and say, hey, I'm going to learn something from this. I want to be a better person. I want to be more valuable. I want to actually be all the things that I'm putting out there to be. Or we can decide, no, it's these other people. They're the problem. They're the problem. They're the problem. They're the problem. They're the problem, you know? And so many people go there. And it's just like, man, there's nothing wrong with aspiring to be something that is more valuable and better than where you are. But there's something definitely wrong with performing and pretending without doing any of the internal work that could actually bring you to the place of being that thing that you are representing everywhere you go, right? Anyway, what you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. That's me. That's probably you. What you see is what you get. You know, this is all of the humans. I don't care what people think about me. I don't care if they don't like me in the workplace. I don't care because I know I'm a good person. And if I get to the point where somebody's like judging me because they think I'm not, you know, it's fine. You know what I mean? But some people have a real hard time being disliked for any reason, you know? And if you can get past that idea of being disliked, it's like, it's just another human disliking you. Who cares? You know what I mean? And the thing about it is most people that's worth their weight, when you go out into the world, they're not looking to demonize you. They're not looking to make you into this villain. So people that are looking to make you into a villain, generally, they are the most villainous. You know? Anytime somebody, this is what's so funny. This is the last thing I want to say because this is really funny. I had to check my time. I'm like, look up. I've seen projection on such a high level. I've seen people, okay, so I've seen people like send negative emails or messages or something like that to me, you know, years later about something that they thought happened or they thought happened in our connection or whatever. And I'm reading this thing word for word and I'm like, everything you're saying about me is you. It's almost insane. And I'm just like, do you not see this? It's like you want to copy paste the message and go just put your name at the bottom and send it back. It's like, it's so hard for people to see themselves when they don't like what they see in the mirror. That's why we have to constantly do the work of feeling the shame or whatever shame it is we're dealing with, feeling that pain, feeling that disgust with ourselves, if that's what the case is, and then moving past it, learning to heal. Because if we go out there just pretending to be something, we never truly grasp the entire experience of being a human being. We're a human doing, not a human being. Okay? Capiche? Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. And until next time, keep manifesting magic.